I'm Susan Clarke, and I believe when you're going down the road of life, you gotta have fun. Now, I think that learning and work should be fun too. My first group at Clarke Health, they're interacting, they have high energy, and they're learning. When you have fun learning, you remember what you heard. East of Chicago Pizza, they're getting energized, having fun, and it made their entire conference more memorable. And then, of course, there's Cookie Leaf Jewelry and the fun of exceeding your customers' expectations. That's my most favorite kind of fun. Work and life are supposed to be fun. For me, it's fun. My behavioral style, I want to have fun. My goal when I was a waitress, I said, I just want to have fun and make money. And then I added and do it in a nice place. Now, I was born and raised in Southern California, but I did live in the Midwest for 12 years. Kansas City! Ah! 4 years in Kansas City, 8 years in Chicago. Yeah, I love Chicago. But you know what they used to say? Tomorrow there's a 20% chance of rain. Well, guess what? It's 80% it won't. Yeah, think about it. Tomorrow's going to be partly cloudy. Guess what? It's partly sunny. Right? Some people say the glass is half empty. Some people say the glass is half full. I worked with some engineers, and they said the glass is twice as big as it needs to be. People like people who are like themselves. From the time I was a little girl, my mother used to say, I hope you have a little girl just like you. Okay, we're going to have a test now based on what we just learned about those fundamentals on body language. Would you say that was a positive statement coming from my mother or a negative one? I challenge you, if you want things to change, you change yourself. Every time something negative happens, that you turn around and you find 5 positives in your life. And make it simple. I've been doing customer service since I was 12 years old. I mean, I had no idea how intelligent my mother was. My mother was brilliant. I was 12 years old. She dropped me off at the restaurant on her way to work, and they paid me $5 a day to babysit me. I mean, think about it. I was making $5 a day. I was rich. I want to move up. Who wants to move up? Yeah. So I said, but not everybody wants to move up. Is that okay? Absolutely. My mother used to always say the grass is always greener on the other side of the fence. Well, it's true. It's true. But you still got to mow it. Is it not true, and I'm getting a nod from the head, yes, that you can spot a positive person a mile away? They radiate, don't they? Give her more gum. Her answer was every day. Because what you think about, you bring about. I mean, I have to tell you, the best single piece of advice my mother ever gave me was, ignore your brother. I love the word zeal, because we hear passion a lot. How many people say zeal? Oh, I just feel full of zeal today. They'll think you're flipped. Is there anybody like me out there that said, I was supposed to do this, and I was supposed to do that, and I didn't do it, and gosh, this is so awful, and if only, and God, ooh, 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 ooh. Get out of it. But you know what? What happens when we have complainers? How many of you love your complainers? I want to hear, yes, I love my complainers. You know why? Oh, good job. You know why? Because your complainers care enough to tell you, and if you fix it, then they know that you care about them, and guess what you got? A relationship. We're bombarded with 3,000 advertising impressions a day. I thought about that and I said, oh man, became so apparent. If that's the case, then you can't afford to have mediocre service. You know, we're supposed to treat people as though they were guests in our own home, right? Well, guess what? Company's coming. What do you do when you got company coming before they get there? You clean your house, that's right. Your house is never cleaner than when you have company coming. I have determined that the farther the company comes, the cleaner the house gets. Isn't it true? My girlfriend came from England. I had to recover my couch. Your house is never clean. And what do? You go out and you buy the best food, don't you? Company's coming because we want to impress them. It's always the best. And we got to buy the best stuff. Can you imagine if your company showed up at your front door, you opened the door and said, just a minute, can you just hold it right there? I'm not quite ready for you. What is the first impression that you give every day? And I want to tell you, you don't wake up happy every day and cheerful and all that kind of stuff. My mother was like that. She was in denial. First impressions are lasting impressions, and if I'm not in a good mood, I don't leave my house because I don't want anybody to see me. I've always heard that if you don't have goals, you will live your life by someone else's goals. Have you heard that? So if that's the case, then make sure you have friends with really good goals. And so when I say ready, set, go, she says it's not fair. Yes, it is, because it's my game. Okay, Janice. Now the game here is to get your time filled in as quickly as possible in controlled chaos. And then you scream out when you get it. This morning everyone was so quiet, I said, who won? I mean, isn't the point to win? We're going to talk about winning. How many times has somebody had a crisis around you? Oh, she's so stuffed, she won't even help me. I came up with a program called No Same Day Service in my house. I write that one down. No same. My husband said, I just want you to be happy. I remember I was working. You talk about being selfish. I was self-employed. I'm self-employed. I've been self-employed for 20 years. I had my big epiphanal moment. On my birthdays, my big ones are like I was 42 when I had my big, huge party. I mean, I wanted pony rides because I never had pony rides. But well, there was a weight restriction, Only my friends under 100 pounds could ride the pony. And pretty much left them all out, except for the kids. Things that we value, we're passionate about. Things that we devalue, we're negative about. So really when you say, I really want to get away from hearing, oh, you have such an attitude. What an attitude? Well, I always wear my attitude with me. I never leave home without an attitude. What I'm focusing on is a positive attitude. Because guess what? When you're positive, people want to be around you. And it's a lot more fun to be positive. And I'm not saying you're positive all the time, because we have ups and downs. The first thing is self-awareness. Who are you? Who is the real you? Who is the person inside that can finally let go of your mother saying, but you're supposed to act this way and you're supposed to do this? How many of you have spouses, have children, have mothers, have parents telling you for years the way you were supposed to do and that your behavior was bad? Who's like me? Yes, and guess what? You're not. You're wonderful. You're unique. You're talented. You just may not have found it all yet.
I think everyone needs to laugh, and I think that the experiences that you shared are very touching, and they can help change people's lives.
Our 3 daughters, I would like them to come and listen to Susan, and I have several friends that I know that would benefit greatly from listening to her. Yeah.
She's just one of the people that just enhances my life to have her in my life. And so I will tell every woman that I know about Susan and how wonderful she is, and everyone should have her books and tapes.
I want to tell my clients about Susan, especially the women's groups, associations that use female speakers, and the women's groups that bring in speakers. I think she'd be a great addition to any program.
Well, I hope you enjoyed the ride. And when you're ready to have me come to your town, you know where to find me. On the road to Fun City.